This is the firing room, launch control for the Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon. The tragedy of Apollo 1 had put us a year and a half behind. We were making up for it in one big leap, and we were doing it with a rocket that no man had ever flown before. When Apollo 8 sat on the pad, she was the first of a new kind, a moon rocket. This was the Phoenix, risen from the ashes of Apollo 1. The first Apollo crew did not die in vain. This was to be their testament. "36 stories high, she had been fully fueled throughout the night. The liquid oxygen in her tanks caused ice to form on the outside of the craft. The extreme temperature differences between the air and the sub-zero, and Bill Anders had made their final preparations before taking that long ride out to the waiting spacecraft. The minimum safe distance, minutes before the launch of Apollo 8, right here where it actually happened. Mankind is about to leave his planet behind and journey to another. It is one of those rare moments when history is not being made, destiny is being embraced.
GPS says verify go for launch. PKSC verify go for TV. Yellow verify go for launch. Civic test conference.
Attention all personnel. The countdown clock will start on my mark at T-minus 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1, 1.
This is launch control. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. We've completed our communications checks with the Apollo 8 astronauts in the cabin, and the communications are go.
We verify frequency on T-minus bar. T-minus bar, you are clear to flying command.
During this period, once we do get the firing command, the various tanks within the 3 stages of Saturn, that radio light also have. First stage preparations are completed.
All systems with A, okay.
We're on. Ready to go to cross-site. Stand by, water. Okay, you're on.
All systems go.
T-minus 45 seconds and counting. The first stage liquid oxygen tank has been pressurized, and the pressure is still building up. Coming up in 90 seconds, I report that the liquid hydrogen tank in the third stage is pressurized. 1 minute, 15 seconds. All third stage propellants pressurized. Power transfer shortly. We have the power transfer. We're now on the flight batteries within the launch vehicle. Final reports coming from Frank Bowman at this time. Final look at the source list.
astronauts return safely to the Earth.
Houston, Columbia, read you loud and clear. How many? Right, Mike. How did it go? Let's stay there and enjoy the swimmingly. Beautiful. Great. We're standing by for Eagle. Okay, still on. We copy out. Our controllers, we're off to a good start. Let's go. AOS left. Roger, AOS left. Houston, Eagle, how do you read? Bye, Eagle. We're standing by for your burner report, over. Roger, the burn was on time.
As soon as the Eagle reappears, things begin to go wrong. Radio communications break down.
Eagle, Houston, did you call?
Messages to Eagle must be relayed through Mike Collins aboard the command module Columbia. Throughout, hurtling toward the moon at 3,800 miles per hour, Neil Armstrong notices his checkpoints are all appearing too soon. This means a serious navigation error.
You think you're a little help long downrange?
At these speeds, 3 seconds long means missing the safe landing zone by 3 miles. Thrusters jolting the ship back and forth. This has happened in simulations, but never this much, never this violent. The smooth descent is becoming a bumpy ride. Before that is fixed, a problem with the onboard computer. The astronauts have rehearsed for thousands of possible malfunctions, but not this one. It had been considered too unlikely. Seconds seem like hours as everyone struggles to remember the meaning of a 1202 program alarm. The deadline to safely aboard is vanishing fast.
What is the reading on the 1202 program alarm?
1202 means the Eagle's onboard computer is overloading. This means Houston is blind, unable to make navigation corrections or interpret the data coming from Eagle's computer. Armstrong and Aldrin are on their own. Mission Control decides they can go ahead.
We're going that way. We're going that way.
If the data link doesn't fail again. That the computer is proposing to put them down in a dangerous place. That landing site is full of boulders. If they land there, they will never take off again. At 350 feet, Armstrong ignores his computer navigation and veers away from the rocky landing site with no time to explain to Mission Control.
Okay, I'll flight controllers and cut.
In Mission Control, everybody is stunned. At 300 feet, the Eagle has left its flight plan and taken off at full speed across the face of the moon.
Eagle, Houston, it's descent to fuel. Monitor, over.
90 seconds of fuel remaining. Now less than 200 feet, and the Eagle is too low to safely abort back into orbit. They call this part of the flight plan Dead Man's Curve.
No level.
All that's left for Mission Control is to read off the fuel remaining in seconds.
60 seconds. 60 seconds.
The entire moon landing has come down to 2 men and 1 minute.
Forward. 2.5. And after 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Lights on. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. Contact right. Okay, engine stop. Dead shut down. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
A short time later, history is made again.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
For one incredible moment, we are one people with one history, watching our destiny unfold.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American.
It was a moment shared by an entire world.
Dear man from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the earth. It came in peace for all mankind.
With these first steps, mankind stood on the highest ground, and we saw our planet as our home port in the endless ocean of space.
There was something which was surprising to me. That occurred as I was standing on the surface. Just after we had landed, I'd gone down, standing on the surface and looking at planet Earth for the first time, seeing the beauty, seeing the finiteness of it, the limits of it, and realizing what a shame it was that people were confronting each other on that planet without realizing what it was doing to the planet. It was a very emotional moment for me. Actually, something totally unexpected for an engineer and fighter pilot to be crying quietly up there on the moon.
The first mission had stayed for only 1 day, but over the next 3.5 years, 5 more Apollo missions visited the moon, and with each one, we stayed longer, roamed further, and discovered more.
I never thought when I was a kid building rockets, in high school, that we would go to the moon, before the end of the century. I mean, I thought that was something that was way in the future, fantasy.
I was rolling on the moon one day. In a very month of December. Hey, look at the size of that rock. That is the best example we got. Just don't stub your toe.
We've got to understand that as a people, we need to stretch. We need to reach beyond our grasp. We need to strive to do things that seem impossible, because in the accomplishment of them, we move society forward.
Boy, isn't the beauty of this place just absolutely incredible.
One of the astronauts has said those hills that we climbed give our children and grandchildren a different perspective, that they see the mountains that we couldn't see. And so what we consider impossible, they're dreaming about.
3, 2, 1. What a ride, what a ride.
Move my home for 3 days. You tell me what is impossible in this day and age, much less in a generation that follows, much less into the 21st century. Nothing is impossible.
I like exploring things, inventing. I would like to go up there and find out what's really up there.
I would like to be an astronaut. I like to design rockets.
Payload specialist.
I'd be a ground controllers.
The thing that my mom can't understand is I'm terrified of heights, but I want to be an astronaut.
There's so many things I'd love to do. I would explore, I'd look for everything. I would try to start a farm. Millions of other galaxies that you might be able to live in.
It's the unknown. Anything's possible.
You may be able to cure certain diseases. Climb Mars and dance on it.
Play basketball, but you can still be short, because then you could fly up in the air.
Baseball would be awesome. Hit the ball, you get a home run every time.
There are a lot of things that can benefit mankind that we...
But our journey into space is just beginning. I'm Neil Armstrong. The future of space travel is being written right now in the dreams and imaginations of a new generation. Perhaps that's the greatest legacy of Apollo. It shows our children and grandchildren that with courage, imagination, and the will to explore, no dream is impossible.